Right now, you're probably hoarding thousands of digital files, bookmarks, maybe PDFs that you will literally never ever read.
Oh, yeah. We all do it. It's a habit.
Right. You collect all this data thinking it makes you smarter, like it's a sort of a digital safety blanket.
Exactly.
But the reality is that sheer volume of saved content is actually paralyzing you.
Yeah.
I mean, you want the knowledge locked inside those files, and you need the insights for your work or your studies.
Sure, yeah.
But staring at that chaotic folder just feels like, drowning in information overload.
It completely is.
So today, we are tearing into a really comprehensive 2026 framework called Mastering Google Notebook LM, the complete guide to personal AI. And our mission for this deep dive is basically figure out how this tool acts as an antidote to all that information fatigue.
Right. We want to see how it turns that massive digital graveyard into a personal active brain.
Exactly. And just to start, think about standard AI tools for a second. Using a typical AI chatbot is kind of like inviting a know-it-all to a dinner party.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Right,
Yeah.
because they've supposedly read the entire internet,
Mhm.
and they have this loud opinion on absolutely everything. But, every now and then, you catch them confidently bluffing their way through a topic they actually know nothing about.
Yeah, they hallucinate facts just to keep the conversation going.
Exactly. But NotebookLM, well, according to this guide, it operates on a completely different premise. It's more like a highly focused, incredibly diligent assistant who only reads the exact books you hand them. They refuse to guess.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we are witnessing a fundamental transition away from traditional AI.
How so?
Well, we're moving past the era of relying on an AI that gives you general, universally averaged answers based on the whole web. We're moving to a completely new paradigm.
And that paradigm is?
Personal AI. It is an intelligence trained strictly and exclusively on your own knowledge curation. I mean, it completely ignores what the rest of the open internet thinks.
Wow.
Yeah, it only cares about the universe of information you have explicitly defined for it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because to really grasp why this is such a game changer, we kind of have to look under the hood at the engine room, right?
Right, the mechanics of it.
Yeah. How does it actually process information differently?
Mm.
The guide points out that unlike standard chatbots that scour the open web, NotebookLM uses a system called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RG.
Yes, RG.
But here's where I get a bit lost on the technical nuance. I know that standard models today have massive context windows. You can supposedly drop a huge amount of text into them.
You can, yeah.
So why do we need a separate, walled garden architecture? Why not just paste my PDF into a standard chat interface?
That is the core technical distinction, actually. When you drop a massive document into a standard large language model, it suffers from what researchers call the lost in the middle phenomena.
Lost in the middle.
Yeah. The AI might remember the very beginning and, the very end of your prompt, but the dense, crucial data in the middle just gets blurred.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's trying to hold everything in its active memory simultaneously while predicting the statistical probability of the next word. It just gets overwhelmed.
So it's basically doing too much at once.
Exactly. But our RAG operates fundamentally differently. When you upload a document to NotebookLM, it doesn't just hold it in active memory, it indexes it.
Okay, indexes it. What does that mean practically?
It creates a mathematical map of the concepts within your files, turning text into vector embeddings.
So it's breaking the document down into a searchable database of concepts rather than just trying to memorize the whole text at once.
Precisely. Then, when you ask a question, the AI doesn't generate an answer from a foggy, massive memory. It runs a retrieval step first.
Ah, so it looks for the exact info.
Right. It searches that mathematical map, pulls the highly relevant snippets of information directly from your documents into its active workspace, and then uses its language skills to generate an answer based solely on those specific retrieved snippets.
Wait. So if I ask it a general trivia question that isn't in my documents, it won't know the answer.
Exactly. It will literally tell you it doesn't know based on the sources provided.
But wait, if it relies entirely on what I feed it, what happens if I upload two completely conflicting documents?
Like what?
Say I upload a highly optimistic PR press release about a new tech startup alongside a brutal, deeply critical financial audit of that same company. Doesn't the AI just average them out into some mediocre, flawed insight? Does it just get confused?
That perceived limitation is actually its greatest strength, and it really highlights how RAG prevents hallucination.
Okay.
It does not average them out because it retrieves specific snippets. It actually maps the contradiction.
Really? So it spots the lie.
Basically.
Huh.
If you ask about the company's financial health, NotebookLM will explicitly point out that while Document A claims record growth, Document B shows a severe cash flow deficit.
That is incredibly useful.
And crucially, it provides source-based answers with specific inline citations. It points directly to the paragraph in your uploaded document where it found the information.
So it shows its work. You don't have to second guess if the AI is making up a number. If it's in your documents, it finds it and cites it.
Right.
If it's not, it tells you it doesn't know. The refusal to guess builds a massive amount of trust.
Which is a necessary evolution. For anyone who uses AI professionally, the novelty of a machine that can write a generic poem or summarize a Wikipedia page wore off years ago.
Oh, totally.
The persistent barrier to enterprise or academic adoption has always been trust. If an AI hallucinates a legal precedent or invents a scientific study in a boardroom presentation, its utility just drops to zero.
Yeah, you'd be fired.
Exactly. NotebookLM solves this by operating in that strictly walled garden.
But understanding RAG is really only half the battle. If it can process anything with that level of precision, the real question is how we prevent this from just becoming another overwhelming dumping ground.
Right, the hoarding problem.
Yeah. If it's reading precisely, what happens when we start feeding it totally different mediums?
Well, the input flexibility is where the tool shifts from being just a basic document reader to a true synthetic thinking partner. You aren't constrained to plain text.
So what else can I put in?
The system accepts PDFs, Google Docs, entire websites, audio files, and even YouTube videos.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's like tossing a bunch of random puzzle pieces into a box.
Yeah, exactly.
You throw in a YouTube video of a university lecture, a dense 50-page academic PDF, and maybe some, I don't know, messy audio notes you recorded on your phone.
A total mix.
Right. And the AI not only builds the puzzle for you, but it steps back and tells you what the picture actually means across all those different formats.
What's fascinating here is the mechanism behind that multi-document analysis. The true value isn't just in summarizing one long, boring document.
Anyone can do that now.
Right. The real breakthrough is the AI's ability to find hidden patterns across diverse formats that a human mind might easily miss simply due to the cognitive load of switching mediums.
Like trying to compare a podcast to a spreadsheet.
Exactly. Imagine uploading a competitor's financial report, a casual podcast interview with their CEO, and a news article about their latest product launch. NotebookLM creates a unified vector space for all of it. So Q3 optimism, expressed in the CEO's audio interview, mathematically links to the Q3 revenue drop, buried on page 40 of the PDF.
Wow. So it instantly highlights that contradiction.
Yes. It acts as a synthetic thinker finding the blind spots in a strategy.
It's doing the heavy lifting of connecting the dots across modalities.
Yeah.
And the outputs are just as varied. The guide outlines how it extracts insights and converts your data into study guides, formal reports, blog posts, mind maps, flashcards, quizzes, and even audio podcasts.
Yes, the audio features is huge.
But I have to stop on that last one. I mean, I get summarizing text into text, but turning a dense technical PDF into a dynamic two-person audio podcast, like what we're doing right now.
Pretty much, yeah.
How does it map bullet points to banter without losing the core data?
Well, it translates the informational schema into a conversational schema. It doesn't just read the text aloud, it structures a narrative arc.
Interesting.
It assigns roles. One voice acts as the curious host, the other as the knowledgeable expert. It utilizes natural pauses, emphasis, and rhetorical questions.
But why go through all that trouble just for audio?
Because of cognitive retention. Human brains are evolutionarily wired to retain information delivered through conversational storytelling far better than information presented in a static wall of text.
That makes a lot of sense.
It adapts your static data into a dynamic format that actually suits how humans learn.
So it changes the modality of learning to suit your immediate need. Sometimes you need a deep textual analysis of a legal contract.
Right.
But sometimes you just need the conceptual framework of a new management philosophy delivered via audio so you can process it passively while driving.
Exactly. You fit the medium to your workflow.
Let's apply this to the actual workflow, though. Understanding the features is great in theory, but how does this actually translate into saving time for you, the listener, in the real world?
There are some very specific ways.
The guide breaks down incredibly compelling use cases, starting with what they call the PPT trick.
Oh, the presentation workflow.
Yeah.
Yeah, creating presentations is notoriously time-consuming, not necessarily because the ideas are complex, but because formatting those ideas into a sequential visual medium is just a high cognitive load.
Right.
The workflow here separates the thinking from the formatting.
So the guide outlines this workflow. You upload your research, you ask the AI, create a 10-slide presentation on this topic. It generates the slide titles, the bullet points, and a structured logical flow based entirely on your unique uploaded data.
Right.
But I am definitely pushing back here. Come on. Is it really that simple? Can you just ask for a presentation and boom, you're ready for the boardroom?
No, absolutely not.
I didn't think so. I've tried having standard AI write slides before, and it usually spits out a dense wall of text that looks terrible on a screen and puts the audience to sleep.
That is a crucial distinction to make. It is absolutely not boardroom ready the second it generates the text, and anyone using it that way will fail.
So what's the point then?
NotebookLM provides the intellectual architecture of the presentation. It parses the hierarchical logic.
Okay.
It looks at your messy research, identifies the core thesis, and structures a narrative flow. Introduction, problem, solution, supporting data, conclusion.
So it does the outlining.
Yes, it automates the synthesizing and outlining phases, effectively curing blank page syndrome. But it is not a graphic designer.
Right.
It gets you to the 80% mark instantly, but the user still must export that structure and refine the visual design, the pacing, and the delivery. That final 20% of human polish is non-negotiable.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. It builds the frame of the house, ensuring the foundation is solid, and the rooms are logically laid out based on your blueprints. But you still have to paint the walls and arrange the furniture to make it presentable. Still, saving that initial 80% of the time spent just trying to organize the logic is massive.
It's a huge time saver.
And for business professionals, the guide highlights other major time savers, like market research automation. You can upload 5 different competitor reports and instantly ask for a SWOT analysis.
Oh, yeah. The ability to cross-reference competitors is invaluable.
It facilitates faster decision-making because it summarizes complex data so you aren't bogged down in the weeds.
The efficiency gains in a corporate environment are undeniable. You can organize an entire company's standard operating procedures into one notebook and interrogate it.
That's wild.
But the applications for education, in my view, represent an even more profound behavioral shift.
Oh, I totally agree. The student section of this guide is genuinely incredible. It frames NotebookLM as a 247 personal tutor.
Yes.
A student can upload their textbook chapters, and it converts them into digestible summaries. It creates those exam prep quizzes and flashcards we mentioned earlier.
Right.
But more than that, it allows you to ask questions about concepts you don't understand, getting simplified explanations drawn directly from the syllabus.
Notice the behavioral shift there, though. It transitions the student from passive absorption to active interrogation.
Active interrogation, what do you mean?
Well, instead of highlighting a textbook and just hoping the information sticks, the student is forced to articulate what they don't understand.
Like asking a real teacher.
Yes. They can say, I am lost on the 3rd paragraph of page 42. Explain the mechanism using an analogy.
Oh, wow.
And because the system is grounded in that specific text via RA, the analogy remains mathematically tethered to the accurate course material.
It democratizes access to a deeply personalized, active learning experience. It turns reading into a dialogue.
It really does.
And for content creators, freelancers, and professionals, it acts as the ultimate behind-the-scenes assistant. It automates literature reviews for researchers. You can upload an hour-long meeting transcript and immediately get a summary of action items.
Yeah, or if you're a YouTuber, you can throw all your raw research into a notebook and have it generate a structured script outline.
It takes the friction out of moving from raw research to actual creation.
It fundamentally reduces the cognitive load of organization. When you aren't spending all your mental energy simply trying to categorize and remember where a specific fact is located, you free up massive amounts of neurological capacity for actual creative synthesis and strategic thinking.
So you're basically delegating the rote memorization to the AI so the human can do the higher order reasoning.
Precisely.
So what does this all mean? For our daily workflow, if I am dumping all these various mediums into this system, doesn't it run the risk of just becoming a different type of mess?
Well, yes, if you aren't careful.
With all these incredible capabilities, it is crucial to understand where this tool falls short so you don't end up using it incorrectly. The guide is very clear about the limitations. First, as we established, it is not built for real-time internet searches.
Right, use a regular search engine for that?
Yeah, if you want to know breaking news, you use Google. But the most critical limitation, the one that really dictates whether this tool works for you or fails entirely, is the absolute requirement for high-quality input.
Yes, this is the main point.
It's like hiring a world-class Michelin star chef.
Yeah.
If you hand that chef premium, farm-fresh ingredients, you get a masterpiece.
Sure.
But if you lock that same master chef in a kitchen with nothing but stale bread and expired ketchup, even they can only make a terrible sandwich. The AI is the chef, your uploads are the pantry. Garbage in, garbage out, right.
This raises an important question, perhaps the most vital question of this entire analysis.
Oh, yeah.
How do you curate your information?
Oh, that's a good point.
Because NotebookLM acts as an unblinking mirror to your own research habits.
Yeah.
It forces the user to become a significantly better editor of their own inputs.
I see.
It is a brilliant thinking system, yes, but its intelligence is directly, fundamentally capped by the quality of the sources you choose to provide.
So it makes you a curator. You become the museum director. You have to decide which artifacts are actually worth displaying.
Exactly.
An AI is simply the expert tour guide explaining the connections between the specific exhibits you chose to put in the room.
That's a great analogy.
The guide explicitly gives a pro tip for this. To get the best results, you must treat the tool like a dedicated research assistant. You don't just throw casual, generic questions at it.
No, you can't be vague.
You have to feed it high-quality, relevant sources, and then you have to ask it very specific, well-thought-out questions to guide its analysis.
Ultimately, the automation power we discussed. Automating the journey from research to summary and from raw data to actionable insights only functions effectively if the foundation is solid.
Right.
It shifts the burden of work. You spend far less time reading filler text and manually cross-referencing documents, but you must spend significantly more time evaluating the credibility, relevance, and accuracy of the documents you choose to upload in the first place.
So the bottleneck is no longer processing speed. The bottleneck is your curation skill.
Precisely.
Well, as we wrap up this deep dive into the 2026 guide, let's recap the journey we've just been on.
Sounds good.
We started by looking at a tool that is fundamentally different from the generative AI you might be used to. NotebookLM represents a major paradigm shift.
It really does.
We are moving from a general AI that relies on the vast, chaotic, hallucination-prone open internet to a personal AI trained strictly and exclusively on your uploaded knowledge using precise retrieval augmented generation.
It is the difference between a broad search engine and a targeted synthesis engine.
And whether you are a student pulling an all-nighter to actively interrogate a dense textbook, a business person needing a rapid cross-referenced SWOT analysis of a competitor, or a creator staring at a blank page needing the intellectual architecture for a script, this tool transforms your raw, scattered data into powerful, customized knowledge. The whole point of today's deep dive was to give you, the listener, the framework to conquer that paralyzing feeling of information overload we talked about at the very beginning.
Right.
It's about shifting from passively hoarding data to actively synthesizing it.
I think the most profound takeaway isn't just about the software's features, but what this type of software demands of us as users.
What do you mean?
Well, if NotebookLM proves that an AI is only as intelligent and reliable as the specific documents it reads,
Yeah.
what does the daily data diet you are currently consuming say about the quality of the insights you'll produce tomorrow?
Oh, man. That is quite the question to leave on. Are you feeding your brain the premium ingredients or just the digital junk food?
Exactly.
Think